So here is our lesson about atoms and molecules. So this is now our lecture 2, now, which will be discussed for the whole, this is for the whole time, no, for this afternoon. So what do you mean by atoms and molecules? By the way, if you talk about atoms, of course, atoms is the smallest particle, no, of a matter. So everything that matter comprises, no, that are either atoms or molecules. If you talk about molecules, that is a combination of two or more atoms. That is a molecule. So what is the fundamental concept of atom? It started with the subatomic, no? Accordingly, atoms have subatomic particles, and that is the nucleus, which is at the center, no? Nucleus, in the nucleus, no, there is that subatomic particles, which is neutron. That neutron there has, no, that neutron there has two subatomic particles, no? That nucleus, I mean. Nucleus has two subatomic particles, that is the neutrons, no, which bears uncharged. No? Then there is a proton, which has a positive charge, and revolving around the orbit of, outside the orbit of that nucleus is the electrons. You had this concept way back before when you are still in your, yes, in your high school, and at the same time during your grade 11 and grade 12. Yeah, no, especially if you are taking up STEM. So that is the fundamental concept of an atom. So atom has a subatomic particles, which is inside the nucleus. That nucleus has two, that is the neutrons and the protons. Outside the orbit of your nucleus is, of course, the electron. So I will be in placing our PDF. You can just read about it, especially the Bohr model. I will no longer discuss it here thoroughly. No? So that is the how atom looks like. Okay. So the best way to describe an atom in a Filipino manner is if you have a watermelon, di ba? Pag pikas ni mo sa watermelon, no? Pag pikas ni mo sa watermelon, basta kay tamis siya, what happen is at the center, no? At the center of the watermelon is pula kaayo, no? Then naa dayon pag pikas ha. Naa dayon sa gawas, di ba? Naa sa gawas, not gawas, outside of that center, there are that mga liso. Okay. So, meaning outside that center, no? So, that center now is the nucleus. No? So, outside that liso will represent now our electrons. That is the representation of an atom in a Filipino manner. No? Pikasa ang watermelon, no? Basta pula kaayo, nga na, concentrated na siya sa tunga pula. Sa pula, sa tunga, wala pa'y liso, di ba? Outside that, sa pula, no, naanay liso. So, katong liso will represent now our electrons. Then, katong pula kaayo, nasa center is the nucleus. Here, this is nucleus. Okay, that's it. So, actually, according to Avogadro's number, it was Avogadro who discovered this known as what? The Avogadro's number discovered that so-called number of, no, in one atom, what is its equivalent in a mole? In 1 mole, what is its equivalent in an atom? That is according to Avogadro's number, that is 6.022 times 10 to the exponent of 23, and that is an atom. We will discuss it thoroughly later on. Actually, how did we come up? No? If you look into the periodic table is being arranged in a way that it will start with the atomic number. Hydrogen has an atomic number of 1, followed by helium, so on and so forth. So, the arrangement of the periodic table with the elements are being arranged by means of increasing atomic number. No? So, that atomic number actually class is being, no? The basis there is the carbon. It was found out that carbon, no, has an atomic number of 6. No? So it started with hydrogen, after hydrogen, helium, so on and so forth. No? Sunod sila. So carbon is at 6 because its atomic number is equal to 6. What about the mass number? No? So the mass number is equivalent to 12. No? So looking into the periodic table, upper portion of that is the atomic number. No? Then the lowest portion of that is the mass number. Okay, so how will we know the number of electrons, protons, and neutrons? Whatever is the atomic number, your basis for number of electrons and number of protons will be whatever is the atomic number that is equal to the number of electrons and equal to the number of protons. I repeat, the atomic number is equal to the number of electrons and the number of protons. Okay, so if carbon has 6, atomic number of 6, what will be its number of protons? Of course, it's still 6. Number of electrons, it's still 6. Then, how are we going to compute the number of neutrons? Okay, that is the atomic mass. Tawag ani, atomic mass or mass number, pareho na siya. The atomic mass or the mass number is equal to the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. This one. Number of neutrons plus number of protons equal to mass number. Asa makuha ang mass number? That is pinakaubos. If that is the element, upper portion is the atomic number. The lower portion is the atomic mass or the mass number. Okay. In order to get the number of neutrons, what you're going to do is this formula here, you're going to transpose this number of protons on the other side. Therefore, the number of neutrons will be equal to the number of the mass number or the atomic mass minus the number of protons. That is it. That is how to get it. And everything is in the periodic table. No? Naanda tanas periodic table. So here is an example. Okay. So oxygen, we have here different elements, oxygen, potassium, bromine, and zinc. Okay, these are its symbol, oxygen, O, potassium, K, bromine, Br, zinc, S, Zn. Okay, what is the atomic number? Tanawan ninyo sa periodic table. Lilian yung periodic table. Okay. Ambot, huwag na ba yung periodic table nga niya? Saan na to? Wala. Sige lang. So, everybody should have a periodic table. No? So, looking into oxygen, what is the atomic number of oxygen? It is 8. Then down, no? Down the oxygen, you can see the atomic mass or the mass number. Pareho na, atomic mass or mass number. So, if the atomic number is 8 and your atomic mass is 16, what will be the number of electrons? What will be the number of protons? As I have said, whatever is the atomic number, that will be equal to the number of protons. So it's 8. The number of electrons, it's still 8. How are we going to get the number of neutrons? The number of neutrons will be equal to the atomic mass or the mass number minus the number of protons, which is 8. Therefore, 16 minus 8 is equal to 8. Therefore, your number of neutrons is 8. For potassium K, the atomic number is 19. Where did we get this? In the periodic table. ibabaw sa atomic at sa potassium. The atomic number is 19. The atomic mass, potassium sa ubos, that is 38. Okay. As I have said, what will be the number of electrons, number of protons? That will be equal to the number, atomic number. Therefore, number of protons is 19. Number of electrons is still 19. For the neutron, you subtract, that is the atomic mass minus atomic number. 38 minus 19, it's still 19. It doesn't mean nga pareho na siya tanan, ha? It will differ. Depende sa atomic mass minus the number, the atomic number or the number of protons. Okay. Next is bromine. Bromine has a symbol of Br and atomic number of 35. The atomic mass is 80. So, what will be the number of protons and electrons? The same with the atomic number, 35. What will be the number of neutrons? That is the atomic mass minus the number of atomic number or the number of protons. So, 80 minus 35, it's now 45. Okay. Finally, the last one, example, the zinc. Zinc, the atomic number is 30. The atomic mass is 65. Therefore, what will be its number of electrons and protons? That is 30 and 30 electrons. What will be the number of neutrons? That is 65 minus 30. It's 35. So I hope you are following with what is atomic number, how to compute for the atomic number and atomic mass. Okay. By the way, what is an isotopes? So actually, isotopes are, these are atoms. These are atoms, or these are substances which has the same atomic number, but they will differ in the number of neutrons. Okay, here, take a look. So, same atomic number. If you talk about same atomic number, meaning the number of protons, parihora, no? But they will differ in atomic mass. Kung mag-differ siya atomic mass, meaning mag-differ siya og neutron. So, there are elements that will have 2 or 3 isotopes. Okay, for instance, we have hydrogen. Hydrogen. Now, this is the most common. We have hydrogen 1, hydrogen 2, and hydrogen 3. Okay. Now, what is hydrogen 1? That is protium. No? Protium is having 1 proton and 1, what is the atomic mass? It's 1. Okay, so how are we going to get the number of neutrons? That is, what is it? Mass number. You have a mass number here of 1. So 1 proton, that is 1. The atomic, that one there is the atomic number. That one there is, murag gibali ni siya. That one there is, bali unta ni ha? Kani, ubos unta ni. 1 there is the atomic number. Ang ubos is atomic mass. So your protium has 1 atomic number and atomic mass 1. Therefore, what will be the equivalent of your electron? The same, 1 gihapon. Proton, 1 gihapon. But this will differ in the number of neutrons. That is 1 minus 1 equal to 0. Therefore, protium has 0 neutron. Okay. Second, deuterium. Deuterium is known as the heavy water. Okay, the heavy water. Actually, this had been a long issue in the Philippines that we have deuterium in the Pacific, the Surigao Deep, Pacific Ocean na siya. Surigao Deep, there is a substance deuterium. But the problem is how to extract it, because deuterium is heavy water wherein it could no longer be it's beyond 300 meters down. Kung 300 meters down na gani siya kuno kalalom, that could no longer be masulod, dili na makuanan sa mga submarines like that because it's beyond. Okay, so that is heavy water or deuterium. No? So deuterium has an atomic number of 1, the atomic mass of 2. Bali na sa ubos na siya. Therefore, how many protons? How many electrons? It's still 1. But your number of neutrons will be 2 minus 1. Therefore, your neutron here is 1. Now, here, what's the number of neutron? 0. And the last isotope of hydrogen is the tritium. That is 1 atomic number, 3 atomic mass. Therefore, what is the number of nucleus? That is 3 minus 1 is 2. Therefore, in tritium, it has 1 proton, 2 neutrons. So they are isotopes. What are isotopes? No, they have the same atomic number, but different atomic masses. If they have different atomic masses, of course, they will have different number of neutrons. For instance, another example, carbon. Carbon has 2 isotopes, that is carbon-12 and carbon-13. So, as we already know that carbon has what? 6 atomic number. No? Same with carbon-12, but your atomic mass here is 12. Therefore, 12 minus 6, you have 6 neutrons. But here, you have 13. The atomic mass here is 13, meaning 13 minus 6, you have 7. So, in carbon-12, it has 6 protons and 6 neutrons. In carbon-13, it has 6 protons and 7 neutrons. These are its isotopes. Okay? So I hope you understand what are isotopes. Okay. How about ions? Ions, if you talk about ions, meaning these are charged particles. It could either be a positive charge and it could have a negative charge. Okay? Samok ni mga iro. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Oh, na-interruption akong gipagawa sa mga doggies. So, what are ions? Ions are having, these are substances which has a charge. Okay. So, we already know that an atoms could either gain or lose an electron. No? So, when is ion will happen? When is ion will occur? So this will occur when an atoms either lost or gain an electron. No? So this, if and when it will lose, no, it will have a positive. Bali, no? Mo loss gani siya, it will have a positive charge. Therefore, that is a cation. And if it will gain an electron, it will have a negative charge. So, an ion. When it will lose, what is the charge? Positive. And it is termed as cation. And if it will gain, it will have a negative. And it will be considered as an ion. So that is ions. It could either be a cation having a positive charge or an ion having a negative charge. Okay? So The atomic mass, okay, the atomic mass is actually defined as the 1 over 12. What is 1 over 12 of our carbon? Because our basis for getting the atomic mass is a carbon. That is why carbon 12, no, carbon 12, and it has a proton, number of protons and electrons equal to 6 and the atomic mass of 12. No? So the equivalent of 1, no, atom is equivalent to, we could equate that into 1 AMU. What is 1 AMU? That is 1 atomic mass unit, or that is equivalent to its mass of 1.661 times 10 to the negative 24 grams. In ana kagamay ang usa ka atom. No? That's the mass. So that is its atomic weight, no, of the element. So the one that we have calculated as isotopes, okay, 10 minutes pa. The one that we have calculated as isotopes, that is carbon 12 and carbon 13. No? That is it. If you look into that, mostly it will occur with carbon 12, panagsara ang carbon 13. No? So carbon 12, 99% of that is under carbon 12. No? The isotope carbon 12 instead of carbon 13. But since that is 99 and 1%, how are we going to get the average atomic weight of these two isotopes? Okay, so we already know it's 99. Diba? 99 is siya, ang carbon 12. All you have to do is get the average. So you have atomic mass of carbon, it's 12. And how much abundant is it? That's 99. So multiply it with 0.99 plus carbon 13. Okay, how abundant it is? That is that's 1%. 1 divided by 100 is 0.01. Multiply this, then add. Therefore, the atomic weight, that is how atomic weight is being calculated. The one that is in your periodic table. It will depend on the isotope and they will get the average of that. Okay. Therefore, sum it up, this one. Carbon 12, that is 11.88. Carbon 13 is 0.13. Then add it 1. The atomic weight of your carbon is 12.08. Okay. That's it. So, for instance, this is a quiz. It's lithium. No? This is a quiz. For instance, this will be your assignment, lithium isotope. No? And number 2, assignment ninyo ni ha? How are you going to get the average weight of lithium? No? Of course, how it is being done? Get the atomic mass, then multiply it with the abundance plus the other one. So here in lithium, duha ra ni siya. That is lithium 6 and lithium 7. Then number 2, you have iron. Iron, how many isotopes of iron? There are 4 here. So you are going to get the average atomic weight. Same thing as what we have done here. Okay, this will be an assignment. The initial quiz assignment. I will upload this in the LMS later on tonight. Next thing is, let us look into the different formula. No? What is chemical formulas? Okay, a chemical formula, of course, is a shorthand way in order to use symbols, chemical symbols, to represent a substance or to represent a molecule. No? For instance, this is glucose. No? The formula, now the chemical formula of glucose is C6H12O6. What is this? Meaning your carbon has 12 atoms, your hydrogen has 6 atoms. I mean, your hydrogen has 12 atoms and oxygen has 6 atoms. No? So this is your element, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. The subscript there, that one there, is, this will tell you the number of atoms. Okay? That is how to write a chemical formula. In a chemical formula, there are two types of a chemical formula. It could either be empirical formula or molecular formula. If you talk about molecular formula, this is the exact, no, exact formula, meaning you will know the exact number of atoms in each of the elements in a given compound. While this empirical formula is the simplest, we talk about it as simplest formula, or this is the smallest ratio of atom in a molecule. For instance, you have what is the formula of glucose? That is C6H12O6. This is the molecular formula, meaning this is the exact. Exact. Okay. If that will be the exact, it is molecular. But this, as you look into this, this is divisible by 6, di ba? Okay. How are you going to get the empirical formula? The smallest ratio, meaning divide this by 6. Therefore, your 6 divided by 6, it's 1 for your carbon. No need to place 1 there. That is understood kung wala ka na, 1 na siya. Then for hydrogen, that is 6 divided by 12 divided by 6, it's 2. Then oxygen, 6 divided by 6, 1. Therefore, the empirical formula of glucose is CH2O. But its molecular formula is C6H12O6. Okay. Here, let us look into this. Benzene has molecular formula of C6H6. What will be its, the assignment ninyo ni. I-appeal na ako sa assignment. Arong naidaghang trabaho on. Okay. Here, naanay glucose daan. Okay. So, that is it. The next thing is we will be looking into, actually this is just review, review sa basic principle in chemistry. There are 3 types of a bond. What is bond? Chemical bond is the one that will connect a molecule or an atom with another atom to form a compound, or to form into, a mixture, or to form into, a more complex compound, and that is known as a bond. And what bond is that? That is chemical bond. So there are 3 types of chemical bond. The first one is ionic bond. Ionic, actually, you had already come across of this in your high school, senior high, especially in senior high. Ionic bond is an electrostatic attraction between ions. So if you talk about ions, of course, the one bearing the positive charge is the metal. The one bearing the negative charge is the non-metal. So what is ionic? Ionic bond, ionic bond is the bond being formed from a metal added with a non-metal, a positive charge and a negative charge. For instance, sodium bears positive, chlorine bears negative. Okay, so if you combine this one, there will be a transfer of electrons. So in ionic bond, there is a transfer of electron. Your sodium will have, di ba? Kadumdum mo, asa ang charge, Ang charge sa inyong mga element, that is why it is being classified into groups. Group 1, group 1, all of these are metals. Group 1. Group 1 has a charge of positive 1, or it has a charge. It has an oxidation number of positive 1. Okay. Group 2 bears positive 2. Your group 7, which is the halogens, for instance, chlorine, has 7. Negative 7. Okay. Now, for instance, sodium combines with chlorine. Your sodium, what is the oxidation number? What is the charge? Positive 1. Your chlorine, negative 7. Meaning, according to octet rule, this will only form into a compound. This will only form a bond if and when there is that 8 or octet rule. Kining sodium nimo ang outside na niya, that makes it unstable because the outermost shell has 1. Katong oxidation number or the charge is known as the, no, that bears the outermost shell. So, sobra nga positive 1. Kinahanglan i-transfer nato sa chlorine because it lacks 1. It negative 7. Therefore, if transfer nimo siya na mga 2, mahitabo, ang chlorine will have what? 8 na siya. So, there will be a transfer. So, your sodium will be stable na. No? That is why it will bear positive. No? So, the other one, your chlorine, will be having 8. No? So, what kind of a bond is that? That is ionic bond, a transfer of electron from metal to non-metal. The next type of a bond is covalent. Here. So, it is, walo na mukbok. Sige. The second type of a bond is a chemical bond, which is covalent. Covalent are, it shares electrons. For instance, we have CCl4, that is carbon tetrachloride, wherein your carbon will have anak na. So you will have 4 electrons for carbon. Then for your chlorine, pila? 7. So mag-share ang usa ka electron sa carbon ngani with the 7. Na 7 electrons of your chlorine to make it 8. Na? Then your carbon here again sa ibabaw, upat man. CCl4. CCl4, carbon tetrachloride. Later on, I will upload how to name. No? Part na siya sa activity. Na ako'y video na daangan na. I will upload it. Then you will just listen how to name it. Then after that, you are going to answer our activity. So equivalent is the sharing of electrons. How it is being shared? Of course, no? For instance, carbon, that one. Then there are 4 electrons of carbon. Then if you have upat ka chlorine, permiro nga ni chlorine, Cl here on the left side, then there will be 8 electrons. Ang pito namang chlorine, ang electrons, but the 1 electron for the carbon, it will be shared to make it 8. Same thing with the upper portion, yapon, that's Cl, then 8 electrons. The 8 will be the 7 and the 1 electron of carbon, it will be shared, so on and so forth. That is covalent. Covalent is the sharing of electrons. Covalent will happen with non-metal added with another non-metal. When will ionic bond happens? When it is a metal added with another non-metal, metal and non-metal, and there is a transfer of electrons. For covalent, this will happen for non-metal added with non-metal, and they will share the electrons. And the last one is metallic. This is the attraction between metal cations surrounded by the sea of electrons. Pero in most cases, what we are using is the ionic and the covalent bond. Okay, that's it. So these are metallic bonds, no? So metallic bonds are sharing of electrons between many atoms of metal elements, no? So here it has that metallic bond there. No? So this is now our periodic table. As I have said, these are group. Diba? These are group, or what is that? These are group or family. Ang padulungan ni these are group. Group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, so on and so forth. Or family 1A, 2A, like that. Pero ang padulungan na, that one, is this horizontal? I think so. This is vertical. Vertical is period. Okay, no? So, 1, group 2, that is family. No? That way there, that is 3 down to that portion there is known as period. Okay. So, who made this possible? It was made by kinsa man. Kinsa man nag-discover aning periodic table. No? It was discovered by Dmitry Mendeleev. Okay. Okay, this one. Then including Lothar Meyer also. Okay. So, this is how it is being done. In what way it is being arranged? It is arranged by increasing atomic number. As I have said, this is hydrogen 1, meaning 1 na siya, meaning ang iyang atomic number is 1. Kani ang atomic number na siya, and this is the atomic mass nga. Same thing with helium. Helium atomic number is 2. This 4 point, di kay ko kaklaro, that is the atomic mass. No? Lithium diode, beryllium, like that. So, it is arranged by means of, Mendeleev has arranged it by means of increasing atomic number. Okay. Mind you, there are only few. Most of these are metals, or most of these are metals, then non-metals and metalloid. Wala man kaayo ni. The other type of a periodic table you can distinguish which is a metal and a non-metal. The left portion are mostly metal. The right portion, gamay are non-metal. A non-metal could either be what? No? A non-metal could either be a gas or some, in most cases, not gas, pero kani. This is known as noble gas. Some are gases, some are not. Okay. For instance, this one here, kana padulungan ha, that is classified as carbon, nga kutuban na padulong, is classified as non-metal. The rest of this here on the right side are elements in a form of metal. Here it is. These are groups or families. Kani, groups na siya paana na or family. So, group 1A are alkali metal. Group 2A are alkali earth metal. Then this portion here are the transition metal. Then these are the boron family. These are the carbon family. These are the nitrogen family. And these are the, what is it? These are the oxygen family, halogens, and the noble gas. Okay. And the last portion here are the lanthanide and the actinide. So these are the groupings of the elements in the families. In most cases, if they are grouped as one, they have similarities in its physical and chemical characteristics. That is why they are grouped that way. So that is group and families. These are period. Period are horizontal. Padungan ni. Period na siya. Kana yellow, then the green, then the light blue. What's this? The dark blue, the violet, so on and so forth. Those are period. Okay. So, in the periodic table, as I have said, this is classified. These are classified into 3. It could either be metals, non-metals, and metalloid. So, the blue here are all metals. Then, the brown here are metalloids. Then, the gray bani or purple. Purple are non-metals. As you look into this, mostly are metals. Diba? Group group 1A, 2A, until to this portion, the lanthanide and the actinide are all metals. Asa namang kutob ang non-metals? Here, non-metals and metalloid kaningan ang portion. B.A. Ana taraka. These are the non-metals. This one. It is, the metalloids are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. there are 7 metalloids: the boron, the silicon, the germanium, the astatine, the antimony, tellurium, and the yttrium. Okay. The metalloids are this purple. Pila ka buok? Kani. The carbon, down phosphorus, selenium, iodine, radon. The rest of that. No? So if you look into the periodic table, mostly are pila ka percent. Na siguro sa 80% are metals, no? Then 15% siguro are metalloids and 5% are non-metal. Okay? 5% are metalloids and 15% are non-metals. Okay. So, what is the characteristic of a metal and a non-metal? The opposite of metals are non-metals. For instance, it's shiny or it has an attribute of luster. See now, non-metals, not shiny. Metals are good conductor of heat and electricity, while non-metals, they are poor conductor of heat and electricity, and mostly they are insulators. Mabitan ng ladol, kanabang luwag, luwag nga, what do you call this? Luwag nga aluminum made. At the end of the ladle, katong iyang holder, di ba, mostly in a form of plastic, because that plastic there are insulators. They are non-metals. Kaya puro gani na siya metal, what happened? Ibutang ka diyot sa kalha, no? Tapos nagluto ka, paghawid nimo, oo, init na kaayo. Why? Because they are good conductors of heat and electricity. But you have at the upper portion is a rubber. Na paghawid nimo, mahawiran ra gyapon nimo, because this will insulate that travel, the conduction of the molecules into the handle. Okay, they serve as insulators. So metals are good conductors of electricity, also poor conductors of electricity. What is malleable? It could easily be molded. That is a metal. A non-metal is not malleable. No? For instance, copper wires, pwede naman siya. Diba? Then, ductile. Ductile can bend without breaking. No? Bend. Ang metal, pwede naman i-bend. Okay. Dili po siya ma-break. No? Ang, what do you call this? Non-metal, it's non-ductile, it's brittle. For instance, lead. No? The lead in your pencil, pag nyo if you are going to exert more effort or force on the tip of your pencil, it will break. It's brittle, not ductile. And metals all solid at room temperature. No exemption. It's only mercury, which is a metal in a form of a liquid. Okay? That's the difference between metals and non-metals. What are metalloids? Metalloids are mixture of a metallic and non-metallic properties. That is why it's called metalloids. Okay, metal and non-metal. No? So they are semiconductors. If the non-metals are, if metals are conductors, these metalloids are non-semiconductors. They are not non-conductors, unlike with non-metal. No? So they can conduct heat and electricity, but to some naigamay na ay dako, but it will still conduct an electricity. No? Some extent. For instance, silicon. No? Sample of pure silicon. Silicon are being made into chips. Di ba? Pasalamat mo silicon. Kaya kung walay silicon, wala tay kanang mga chips sa atong mga cellphone. Yes, that's it. That is made of silicon. Oh, ang mga gagmay totoy, pwede butang silicon aron mo dako. Di ba? Oh, that is that makes science interesting. Pwede na siya. O ang mga gagmay sampot, pwede pud butangan og silicon aron muoblong. Not oblong. Lain kapangit oblong ba, muulbo ang sampot. Okay, that's it. That is a silicon, no? Oh, and naman di ay. Okay, sa kayot sa. That is it. Let me stop my sharing. Kamay gihapon mo. Napatay time. Pabatay time. Okay. No, let me see your faces. Sige, for the open your video cam for me to check the attendance. Okay. So, sige. I will be, wa naman kaitay time. By Monday, I will be starting with the start mole. Di na tamo kuan kay nga naman 15 taasa ra ba sa mole na ang mahitabo na magkabuang-buang, no? I don't want to cut it out. Okay, so show me your faces. Kamura. Oh. Sa to sulti ni ma'am, every time we had our this is plus, no. 10% is attendance. Why magbuot? I will always add 10% attendance. Okay, so let me camera Proline ipsaka. Okay, camera action. Smile. Okay, so that ends our lecture. I will see you again by Monday, no? Monday murag mudugay ta. Adi sa punta mudugay kay. By Saturday I will be tomorrow I will be uploading Saturday. I will be uploading your activities. So daghang mong trabahoon by next week. You will have activities, no? Activity 1 to 3. Then assignment. Okay, dili pa ta mag-quiz by Monday. Any question? Any question? Wala? Na? Hello? Sulti pod mo. Ako rin sige yaw-yaw.
Wala, ma'am.
Wala na. Sige. So, by Saturday ha, mag-upload ko og activities. 1 to 3. Mag-upload po ko og video. How to do your activities. So, bye-bye and happy weekend. Bisag Birnis pa ugma. Bye-bye. Thank you.